Yeah, YouTube family, this is gonna be another hot TikTok reaction video. Y'all don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you be notified whenever I drop some new hot content, man. I'm telling you, some stuff you definitely don't want to miss. Comment, I'm ready in the comment section if you're really ready for this heat that I'm fit to drop. Y'all, let's get it.
If you've made it to this broadcast, chances are you probably suspect you already occupy the inverted world. The inverted world is what happens when you begin to see facets of reality that other people refuse to see or even mock you for seeing. The inverted world is when the curtain is pulled all the way back, revealing all of the strange and absurd and dark machinations that operate in the shadows of reality. And this is the place where we're going to talk about it all. There's a lot going on in this room. I can't even begin to tell you. We're going to get into that in a minute. But I'm very glad you're here joining us for this debut episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is Inverted World Live.
Tell you. Y'all ain't ready for this one.
What more is there to say about the cops? What more do you want to say about the cops?
A lot of stuff. Did you know that they were surveilling me before I killed? And then I knew it? And that it was covered up? Did you know there was helicopters dropping down from the sky? Deputy sheriff with decoys picking me up 4 or 5 months before my arrest? It was covered up?
But nonetheless,
nobody ever asked me these questions.
Whether the cops were following you or not, Eileen.
Oh, whether the cops were following me or not, Eileen, what?
Let's say the cops were following you.
Yeah.
Let's say they were following you and they did everything that you're saying they did. Nonetheless, you killed 7 men.
Yes, you did.
And I'm asking you, what got you to kill the 7 men?
And I'm telling you, because the cops let me keep killing them, Nick. Don't you get it?
Not everybody is killing 7 people. So there must have been something in you that was getting you to do that.
Oh, you are lost, Nick.
So
I was a hitchhiking hooker.
Right.
Running into trouble. I'd shoot the guy if I ran into trouble. Physical trouble. The cops knew it. When the physical trouble came along, let her clean the streets. And then we'll pull her in.
But
That's
how come
why.
there was so much physical trouble in because it was all in 1 year. 7 people in 1 year.
Oh, well. Oh, well.
But why not say now?
Because I'm out of retaliation for taking my life like this and getting rich off it all these years in total pathological lying. Yeah, thanks a lot. I lost my fucking life because of it. Couldn't even get a fair trial. Couldn't even get a fair investigation or nothing. Couldn't even have my appeals right. You sabotaged my ass, society, and the cops, and the system. A raped woman got executed. It was used for books and movies and shit. Bladder climbs, the re-election, everything else. I got fifth finger in all your faces. Thanks a lot. You're inhuman. You're an inhumane bunch of fucking living bastards and bitches, and you're going to get your asses nuked in the end. And pretty soon it's coming. 2019, a rock's supposed to hit you anyhow. You're all going to get nuked.
Ooh-wee.
You don't take fucking human life like this and just sabotage and rip it apart like Jesus on the cross and say thanks a lot for all the fucking money I made off of you. And not care about a human being and the truth being told. Now I know what Jesus was going through. They've been trying to tell the truth, and I keep getting it stepped on. Concerned about if I was raped, I'm not giving you book and movie info. I'm giving you info for investigations and stuff, and that's it. We're going to have to cut this interview, Nick. I'm not going to go into any more detail. I'm leaving. I'm glad. Thanks a lot, society, for railroading my ass.
Y'all ain't listening though. Hey, the eyes are the window to the soul.
Is anyone else like too aware? Like I'm too aware that this is all temporary. This is all part of the human experience, and that nothing matters, and that everything is subconscious programming, and everything is made up. Like the days of the week, that's made up. Monday, someone decided this day is called Monday, this day is called Tuesday. It's all made up. Like humans made everything up. Like money, it's just made up. It doesn't mean anything. Like there are so many different things, like road signs, the street names. Like somebody just decided this street is named that name. Like it's so stupid. Like it's really hard for me to live my life and just be a normal person because I'm just too aware. I'm always seeing things from background perspective. Like, I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing through the programming, seeing through the matrix. Does anyone else know what I'm saying, or am I just crazy? Please help me out.
You heard it.
Did you know that Estonia became the 24th CERN member state just last week? And it made me wonder, who really owns CERN? Well, celebrating its 70th anniversary this year, CERN's member countries, which include France, Germany, and the UK, pay costs towards CERN's programs and sit on the lab's governing council. Full membership also allows the country's nationals to become CERN staff and for its firms to bid for CERN contracts. The lab also has 10 associate member or 4 countries or organizations with observer status, such as the US. So I was like, okay, hypothetically, member states kind of own CERN, but then I looked a little bit deeper. And I found the CERN Council, right? I don't know if anybody knows about this. The CERN Council is made up of delegates from all of those 23 member states, now 24. And each member state has 2 delegates on the council. The council is the highest authority of CERN and is responsible for all major decisions, including policy, determining an organization's policy on scientific, technical, and administrative matters, strategic programs, annual goals. So then I wondered, well, who are the delegates? Who are the presidents and vice presidents on this council? And lo and behold, I'm not very surprised at what I found. Mr. Rabinovich. Does anybody know who that man is? That right there should tell you enough, but if it doesn't, he was a postdoctoral fellow at Fermilab. And of course, Lawrence Berkeley Lab, but Fermilab is what's important here, right? Fermilab aims to become a world center in neutrino physics. It is the host of the multi-billion-dollar deep underground neutrino experiment now under construction. And ongoing neutrino experiments are Icarus and Nova. The completed neutrino experiments include Minos, Icarus. Now, if we start talking about that experiment here on TikTok, I'd probably have this video taken down. So instead, I'll probably do a video on that on X. But does anybody know what neutrinos are capable of? Does anybody know about the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory that exists in Antarctica? Because God, I've tried to talk about that on numerous occasions, and every single time I do, my video gets taken down almost instantly. But let's just say that there was a special whistleblower a couple years ago that released a lot of information about the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory. And when I decided to dig into it and do my own research, I found a lot of stuff. And I'm sure everybody remembers that anomaly that kept appearing above Antarctica, right? I'm not going to say too much, but I'm sure everybody knows about what goes on in Antarctica. And let's just say that on the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory's website, they just so happened to mention the New Zealand earthquake that happened in 2011, which might be something that whistleblower mentioned as well. You can go watch the interview for yourself and you can form your own opinion. But I'm just saying, I did a deep dive on this. I did a video a couple months ago on this, and I made it very plausible. Plus the fact that CERN literally has a Shiva statue, people. You know Shiva, the god of destruction? I mean, literally, people, come on. And have you seen their opening ceremonies? I mean, I'm just saying, think outside the box here, okay? There's a lot that exists in our reality that we don't believe in because we don't see it as being realistic. So many human minds are not open to that aspect of reality actually existing. And so many have remained stuck in their primitive ways. And you see this right here? This doesn't represent what you think it does. Our consciousness was reset. It was deferred away from our primitive ways. And now somehow, we've just allowed ourselves to go backwards. But hey, who am I to tell you how to live your life, right? I'm sure you enjoy working a 9 to 5 until you reach retirement, right? Think outside the box here. But boy, when I found this, everything really started to make sense for me.
Say, man, ain't nothing a coincidence. Don't forget that.
When you live in a simulation, you're governed by the simulation's rules. There are laws put into place to keep you inside the simulation. And when you start questioning your reality in the situation, you're going to be punished one way or the other. Just like a computer game, you cannot go outside of the parameters of that game and not have problems. Well, this week, we got problems. For the last 7 days, the Matrix has kicked me right in the balls. Figuratively, of course. And I'm not the only one. The simulation doesn't want people that are awake talking about all the little things that made them wake up. Because other people look at that and go, well, shit, that is me. That's exactly what I'm experiencing right now. It makes sense. And then they wake up by proxy. The simulation doesn't want people like me talking to people like you about why they woke up, about the things that they saw that woke them up, all the synchronicities, all the little things that make this a computer program. Simulation theory isn't a theory. Objectively, of course, TikTok, this video is for entertainment purposes only. But if you don't believe that people like me aren't being punished, Morpheus is gone. This is the man that posted the 0010110 video that made me go, holy shit. Why is my name in the gematria calculator? A lot of the weird stuff that's happened this week to make me never ever question whether we live in a simulation or not ever again, I'm not going to share. It's just too personal. But this one right here, I'm going to share it because it's obvious. I posted this video right here on 822 about trust the process. In that video, I talked about the state championship football team, the football team shirt, and how trusting the process was their motto last year. They go on to win the state championship. I said my son was part of that team. He didn't get to play because he tore an ACL halfway through the season and wasn't able to play in the state championship. So we've been in recovery mode ever since. He's fully recovered now and ready to play football this year. I posted this video on 822. I walk inside. 1 hour later, my son comes home from practice, hurt, injured, holding his shoulder, tears in his eyes. My first thought was, thank God it's not the knee. But needless to say, we had to go to the emergency room and get x-rays. X-rays came back negative. We went next day to get a CT scan. CT scan showed dislocated collarbone. 1 day before the start of football season. It's football, dude. There's injuries. Well aware of that. Not only was it a dislocated collarbone, it was dislocated inward and pushing on his esophagus. So they scheduled emergency surgery for the next day. And then we did what parents did. We bitched and moaned and complained about how our son didn't deserve this, and complaining about why the team would be full pads tackling 1 day before their first game. Parent shit. Complainers. I was just reacting to this at that point. I hadn't thought that maybe there's a connection here. And as soon as they wheeled him back to surgery, I saw the connection. My number is 4-4. I see 4-4, I see 444, I see 144 every single day. And when they wheeled his gurney out to surgery, I closed the door behind me and the number of the room was 22. And I said, that's weird. And something in my mind said, what day did this happen on? And it happened on the 22nd. Room 22, the day 22, that's 44. And the alarm bells just started going off in my head. And I started thinking about all the other bad shit that had just happened since I posted the first Matrix video. And it kind of made me not want to post any videos anymore. So I took a 3-day break. And then yesterday I saw that Morpheus had been taken out. For whatever reason. You can't violate the guidelines. The rules are set in place for this app, much like the Matrix itself. But since the 0010110 video, the Trust the Process video, and the Orion Constellation video, it has been nothing but bad juju around here. Whoever's in charge of the Matrix doesn't want you to talk about the Matrix. When you break the rules, you're going to be punished. I'm aware of that. One of the main lessons that you learn when you're finally awake, when you wake up to the fact that we're living in a simulation, is that they can't take anything from you because they already have everything. You are just now aware that you're living in this system. And it's their system. There will be consequences for your actions. Damn it, man.
Okay, guys, so I'm really surprised so many people can relate to how I feel. The video I made asking you guys, did you feel like we were just existing, like nothing is the same anymore, we're just floating through life? It has almost 90,000 views, over 11,000 comments. And I'd say 95% of those comments is people saying that they 100% agree. And for the people saying it's depression, it's not depression. For people saying we're getting older, it's not that. You literally feel like you are just inside of your body, moving around, but you really don't know why. It really feels like a real simulation, like somebody is controlling your player. Someone made a comment that said, I've been feeling like this since Kobe died, and I thought about it. That is the exact day that I started feeling this way. That was the exact day where I was like, this can't be real. This isn't life. This just does not seem right. And that morning, I got up and I did something I never do, which is walk to the mall. I don't do that. I normally drive and wherever I go. But on my way walking to the mall, I pulled out my phone and I started recording myself, and I said, I'm recording this because I have a funny feeling. And if anything happens to me, know that something was off today. I had a feeling about it. I could not shake what was going on. Anyway, when I walked back to my house, that's when I found out Kobe was dead. And I've been feeling like I'm in the twilight zone ever since. And I 100% agree. Food doesn't taste the same. Can't get any sleep at night. nothing pleases you. Nothing that you watch fulfills you. Like nothing, no movie feels good. No TV show feels like something is just off. Like we know we are just placed here going through this. Only the chosen ones, the ones that are saying, oh, life is great, life is amazing. You're either an elite, which means you're at a very, very, very high level in life, or you're not a main character. You're just a bot. You're just a seat filler. But the main characters, you definitely understand something's changed.
Hey man, we cooking now. Can you relate?
Arsha, we continue to keep Babylon safe from the deviants. More people have come to seek refuge. It is now the largest city on Earth.
The Eternal serving their missions across the galaxies will learn from your success.
Thank you. I respect your grand design, Arshan. But I have noticed something special about this planet. And I fear that maybe this time, the cost...
Do not become attached to this planet. You must focus on the true purpose of your mission.
Cannon! I understand.
Predictive programming isn't real. We're all conspiracy theorists. They're not telling us or getting Hollywood indoctrinating us towards a social credit score. Nah. Why would they do that? Hey guys, I have a question. Y'all remember this movie, right? How old is this movie? 30-something years old, right? 31, 32, something like that? Demolition Man, tell me, is this or is this not a social credit score?
Gun, noun, portable firearm. This device was widely utilized in the urban wars of the late 20th century, referred to as a pistol.
Look, I don't need a history lesson. Come on, Hal! Where the goddamn guns?
You are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality statute.
Fuck you!
Your repeated violation of the verbal morality statute has caused me to notify the San Angeles Police Department. Please remain where you are for your reprimand.
Yeah, right.
How long have they been indoctrinating us? How long have they been putting it in our face? Now, let me just say, if I would have said this back in the 90s, that this was going to come true, I would have said you're fucking crazy. But today, hey guys, what's the world look like today? Well, really, what's the world really look like? We have open borders. Every other country except for America is standing up against their government. We're arguing about gender. Children cutting off anemones is a common practice. Women are more masculine and men are more feminine. AI is on the rise. Robots. Inflation. I could keep going. The ocean was on fucking fire, guys. Oh, aliens. Aliens is a thing. Islands. Islands. That's all I'm gonna say, islands. You have Epstein Island. You have the things that happened at Lahaina. The sky is doing things I've never thought I'd see it do. New York City was fucking red. Like fire from above. And every time I turn on the TV and watch CNN, MSNBC, CBS, doesn't matter, Fox News, I think the people talking to us are either lizards wearing a skin suit or it's augmented reality. You still think we're crazy? You've been getting indoctrinated and you don't know it. Peace to the gods.
Hey, like I said, the world is a stage. It's nothing is a coincidence, and we're the audience. Don't even know it.
Man has been allowed to go from the third to the fifth dimension. On the fifth dimension, they don't war. On the fifth dimension, they don't have a lot of evil, negative things. On the fifth dimension, they can travel in mind any way they want to go. On the fifth dimension, they create as they go if they want, but they understand whatever they create, they're responsible for, so they don't use creative energy silly, like we do. We throw away our sperm, we throw away our egg, we throw away our energies, we throw away our mind, we throw away everything on drugs. You cannot make the mistake on the fifth dimension because you won't remember how to do it. You had to relearn and recall how to continue to do the stupidity and this ignorance that we practice here. That will be taken away. But it will be taken away because now you're willing to have that being done. We have now, say and choose my words carefully, 2 sons. I always say, well, some people have 3 daughters. But I mean son with S-U-N. Our planet needs magnetism. It is magnetic energy that was interfered with when the moon was steered into to do this. This is what the draconic forces did. Under a moon, things don't go right. In fact, original sin was the moon. That was the name of it. Sin. It was called in sin. Later on, the natives here called it Luna. And of course, from Luna, you get the word lunatic. It meant that any time that generating thing that was called a moon was in place, it changed the frequency to electrical. Electrical is not what you need. There are 3 types of energy that a planet under the sun can utilize. Each one will decree what will be born on it and what will happen to it. Org energy is the highest one under the sun. Org means organic, orgasm, organism, original. It is org. It is from the creator. It is the highest form of energy of a planet to use under the sun. Step down from that is magnetism. 3 forms: north, south, and node, or polarities. The null in there is where all these wonderful ships operate on that people don't believe in again, because it nullifies everything else. And in the null void, you can go to higher or lower. The magnetism has a high frequency and a lower frequency. Beneath that is electricity. We're not only now operating on one of the lowest principles to still operate on, but the lowest part of that, extra low frequency. I have a tape out called Elves, not Elves, are killing you. Extra low frequency, elf waves, not elves, these what they call gnomes and trolls and things like that in the inner world, are killing you. Extra low frequency can give you nothing of value. It takes everything of life force from you. I have a presentation while in town, I hope I can even give it, we'll find out, called Life Force. Once you get to that kind of operative level, you're so low in frequency that everything that's a higher plane almost you forget or you can't even channel to handle. To get that done, the earth started crying out and said, enough. I've gone through this. Earth is a being. By the way, a planet is a life form just like you. Like life forms live within and on you, you live within and on this earth. This planet got help from the Creator gods, from the Universal Prime Creator, and was given the dispensation to have a second son be brought in here. And the second son is now brought in. I don't know when this tape will be shown, but tomorrow as I speak to it, I'll be getting into that even more so in a lecture that I'm giving, thanks to you brothers bringing me in. But on this frequency of Earth, the magnetism is what was asked for and given. So another sun came in. It was first seen. It was seen about 2002. It actually came in 1999. That's when they started this big diversion, which they now call the wars that were fought because of supposed 9/11. Another big tragedy that never should have been, really didn't happen the way it was just to happen anyway. But from that, it was seen at that time, and people didn't believe what they're seeing because they were distracted. Since that time, it has ceased to exist. It exists now on a magnetic plane, and not everybody can see that. There's certain little tricks that you can do to see it, which I'm not going to give on this tape, but there's certain ways you can even see it, or you can photograph it. Normally we don't see it because the frequency is of a higher magnetic order. From time to time, under certain things that they've done to our Earth through chemtrails, we get a glance of it. But the energies you can feel. Magnetic energy is restorative, balancing, healing, helpful, positive. That energy now is flowing throughout our planet, and it's causing people to be restored, to be balanced, to begin to think deeper, to be more spiritual. Electricity is what they're putting up with these towers. That's one of the things I talk about, the towers of terror. These towers where we started our whole conversation earlier, thanks to you, Brother Rich. that are causing the frequency of Earth to remain low and trying to stop it from going high. That's why they have to have so many, because they're now not only fighting the planet, they're fighting the second sun. They're fighting a planet who says, our time is come. They're fighting a planet. If you are a tenant in a building, you tear up the electricity, you tear up the plumbing, you break the gas pipes, you deface and mar that, you curse, you scream, you affect your neighbors, and you do not own the building, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you're going to be discharged. We're getting discharges now. The landlord is coming back to claim the planet. You didn't own the place, you broke your lease, no time for it. And not only that, but there's going to be original refurbishing of this particular building and you're not fit to live in it. Therefore, you're going to see mass deaths now. It's going to hurt. You're going to see people leaving here so fast in all kind of ways. Because once you cannot synchronize the vibrations of your molecular structure and body with that of the planet, your physical body cannot exist. Your soul wants to get away anyway. Any excuse, you just gave it one. I'll tell the brothers and sisters or whatever race they think they're in, if they have souls, to hear these words. You cannot do pharmaceutical drugs if you have melanin. And the better your grade of melanin, the stronger your vibration of melanin, you can't even play with it. You play with it, you die or get sick. Because death is dis-ease. Dis-ease is imbalance in the magnetic field. Easement is when, it's like an easement you take property with. This easement is when you get one out of line. Our planet seeks balance. You must seek balance. And you cannot get balance through pharmaceutical drugs. You are herbalist, you do seeds, you use roots, you use leaves, you use sunshine, you get natural fermentation. When you do the drugs, and if you notice now on these commercials and advertisements, they'll tell you use this particular drug to get this results. And then in the background, it takes them a whole 2 minutes to tell you all the side effects that are happening. Yeah. They're telling you the truth. But even so, if you're already doing the drug, you will not hear the truth because you're living a lie. When you live a lie, you will hear the lie. Your vibrations are what you create within your mind. Now, you must go back to natural. You must use focused thought. You must use magnets. You must use gold. You must use diodes to block these other things to give yourself a chance to even get the power in you to pull down the higher resources. We have a second sun. It's magnetic. Our planet is more and more becoming magnetic each day. That's why the poles are melting. Everything materialistic is dissolving. But you can get through that if you can raise your vibrations to match that of your planet. If you follow the false teachers, the false drugs, the false methodology, and the falsity that is theirs, you will stay there captive. But worse than that, they even vamp you. If you will stop it, they will not be able to even touch you. You cause too much offensive, and what they'll have to do, they have to send your own kind to get you because they can't. And they have many red-day people that come to soldiers and policemen and everything else and take you out even when they can't. So you never see them because they work on the mental plane. When you see them, they will now be transforming. And that's what the Ikes and so are trying to tell you now. They now will not be able to hide their shape any longer because the magnetic field will make them not possible.
Man, what you think about that now? This all has to do with the inverted world. All this whole video. Like I said, we cooking here, we building, you know what I mean? But if you liking this video so far, do me a favor, hit that like button. I really appreciate that, man. It helps other people with like minds and other people who might have like minds like us, you know, see the videos, you know, it helps push the videos in the algorithm. I really need that right now. I appreciate that in advance. Let's get it.
Some of you might know me because of a story I broke last March concerning something called the Guardians of the Looking Glass. Basically, what we had here is a technology that was built which would give those people who operated that technology, of course, a huge advantage because they could see and view timelines within a stream, within a field. You know, the awareness of this technology came to us through certain whistleblowers, and one of them was a guy by the name of Dan Burish who went into some detail about how that technology was acquired. It starts at the end of the Second to exactly before this time, before this event takes place, for different reasons. What they found was that there are 3 types of beings. There's 2 J-rods, which were called P52s. The P52s were for 52,000 years in the future, and the P45s were from 45,000 years in the future. And the P45s weren't interested in helping us. They were just here to harvest genetic materials which they had lost over the course of tens of thousands of years of exposure. The P52s also returned because they came back and they were trying to tell us our consciousness can affect our timeline. Not just the timeline, but also cosmic events. They were trying to tell us that the cosmic event, which is about to happen, can be affected by our collective consciousness. It's going to play out in 2 ways. It could end up with a timeline that prevails that's an organic timeline, where mankind will begin to wake up and en masse, and that we will change the trajectory of that course by raising our consciousness, and then there's going to be some event, and our change in consciousness will actually set in motion a positive version of how that event affects us. We've heard about ancient civilizations like Atlantis or Lemuria or Mu, and they come and go. They always seem to end in some huge cataclysm or some destruction, some destructive event happens, society blows up. It's like a loop. Eventually it would have to crack that loop. So maybe here is the chance to actually break that loop. And the other timeline they were talking about that may prevail is this transhumanist timeline. Along comes 2022, and it's been like 10 years since the last Looking Glass whistleblowers had been out there talking about it, Dan Bush and a few others. But this suddenly appeared, this group calling themselves the Guardians of the Looking Glass. We are the Guardians of the Looking Glass. We're a group of former intelligence officers and military officials who have come together to release classified information about future events to come. Our knowledge comes from our work on the Looking Glass artifact, first discovered in Iraq. During this time, the artifact was activated by the US military and connected to computers. We were able to see dozens of future timelines and the convergent singularities that led to 2 possible outcomes by the year 2030. In one outcome, humanity awakens and the current order is dismantled, and an event occurs, and instead of this event being negative, it is a positive one. In the other outcome, the current structure remains in place. A nuclear war takes place along with many horrible events. Then the event occurs, and instead of being a positive event, it's a negative one. I'm going to talk about what we can do about it, and that's got to do with the positive timeline. We have opportunity here. The J-Rods, they told us that basically they were talking about these 2 primary timelines. That there is a future where a possibly pole shift related environmental catastrophe is averted and does not happen. And relative to this different timeline, the future that generated the J-Rods as we know them will never evolve from our own, and we have taken a new path. So in this timeline, which also the Guardians saw, there is a probability of that happening, and so they talk about that as well. If the post-global pole shift environmental catastrophe does not occur, the benefits could be to alternatively produce a human consciousness, liberating evolutionary leapfrog, and a level of enlightenment among the masses that will produce a new set of future timeline trajectories that will compassionately steer the course of humanity into a virgin future of untold beneficial futures and heights, and in fact fulfill the original evolutionary directive to evolve consciousness of humanity to its optimum potential as future creative agencies in the universe. These messages that we got from these J-Rods decades ago are trying to reinforce that idea, and now we're starting to, maybe the reason this came up now is because we're kind of at that last moment where we could make it happen.
Don't fall for the boo-boo, man. Anybody out here telling y'all that these aliens are aliens from another planet or trying to deceive you, and they're spreading a bunch of misinformation. The aliens that they call aliens are fallen angels or demons. Believe that. I'm telling you. If you don't believe me, go look up the statement what Aleister Crowley said, man. The demon that he was worshiping to or summoned, he he looked like an alien, yeah, but they said in the times later on, in our times now, they would be called something else. It was a demon. Believe that. Do your own research, y'all. And remember that. Always use your own discernment. Always do your own research. Don't believe anything that you hear or see in these videos. Don't believe anything that I say in these videos. Always do your own research. And hey, listen to this. A lack of perception breeds deception. Listen, let me repeat that. A lack of perception breeds deception. Deception, deception. Same thing. Remember that. Never forget it. Anybody out here telling you anything different is a misinformation agent. I'm telling you.
Have you ever felt like you don't belong on this planet? This is because humans weren't meant to be here. Look around and you'll see the signs. Our bodies struggle with the simplest of things. Back pain from standing too long, sunburn from a mere day outside. It's almost as if our skin wasn't designed for this world's harsh sun. Sleep, such a basic need, yet so many of us can't find rest in this 24-hour cycle, tossing and turning, battling insomnia. Could it be that our internal clocks are synced to a different rhythm from a world far away? Chronic illnesses, the allergies, the intolerances. Why do we suffer so much? It's as if our bodies are constantly at war with the environment around us, as if we are strangers to this land. Think about childbirth, a natural process for every species. Yet for humans, it's fraught with danger and pain. Could it be that our bones and muscles were shaped under different gravity? Even our minds, restless and searching, never quite at peace. The mental struggles, the endless quest for happiness. What if these are signs that our spirits are yearning for a place we once called home? Imagine a time long ago when our ancestors were brought here, maybe by beings far more advanced than we can comprehend. The Anunnaki, they say, came down from the heavens and engineered us using their own DNA, here in this alien world. What if the discomforts we feel are the echoes of a life we left behind, clues to our true origin among the stars? Could it be that Earth is not our cradle but our exile? As you ponder these mysteries, remember, sometimes the most unsettling truths are hidden in plain sight, just waiting for us to uncover them.
Now that was a perfect example of a smokescreen as a way that they try to get in your head and think that you're from another planet and stuff. That is false, man. We're a light being from another dimension and another realm, the light realm, the heavenly realm. Never forget that, y'all. Never forget that. Like I said, lack of perception breeds deception. Never forget that.
Hey y'all, the math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing. The math is not mathing. You know how they told us like that George Washington became president in 1776? The math ain't mathing, people, with the number of presidents and the amount of time that everybody was president, whether it was 4 years or 8. The math isn't mathing. The fuck is going on here? Anybody else get there, holla at me. Something ain't right. I missed something. I didn't carry the, I don't know. It's off. The numbers are off. By a lot. A lot. Hit me in the comments. Because think about it. Who's really around to challenge what actually went on past the beginning of the 1900s? No fucking body. Nobody. Like, George Washington could literally just be a fucking story they made up. Somebody that actually never was president. Because you got to remember, we had some real presidents before that. Like, this just not adding up. Somebody help.
And that goes back to the clip, the third clip with the blonde girl, what she was saying on how everything almost that we do and stuff, like the days and the months and everything, is made up, it's man-made. Like I say, lack of perception breeds deception.
was right up my alley. The priest said that as the times on this planet gets more and more difficult, and calamities of all kinds are striking the planet more and more frequently, demon spirits are going to impress people with the importance of Sunday sacredness.
Roger, when I was a teenager back in the 1970s, I remember a song that came out talking about the age of Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, we've seen the development of the New Age, and I wondered if back when you were involved in spirit worship, if they talked about New Age at all.
Oh yes, it was a big thing that was coming up. One of the major deceptions of the last days. And the priest told us, we talked quite a while, and then he said, could I have a little bit more of your time? I want to do something very fascinating. He says, the grand plan, the master's grand plan for harvesting the nations, for harvesting the multitudes of the earth into his cause, just before the close of the great controversy between the forces of good and evil. So we continued, after we expressed ourselves that we're deeply interested to know more about the activities of spirits. And he said it's going to be done in a unique manner. This grand plan is going to take people are going to eat the stuff. Because he says spirits, demon spirits, will declare themselves to be inhabitants of far distant planets in the galaxies that are coming to warn the inhabitants of planet Earth of the impending destruction of the planet unless something seriously proper is done to avoid it. And he went on saying that they will claim to have out-of-body experiences. Are you familiar with out-of-body experiences?
I've read about them.
In other words, so there's some persons are supposed to be able to, they believe in their immortal soul.
Astral soul projection.
Yes, right. Goes into different parts of the world and sees things and come back, and then they write all about it.
I've heard of that.
So, due to the fact that the millions of the earth, people, believe in people having an immortal soul, it has to be readily accepted when the spirits will, through a trance medium, converse with influential people of the land, you see.
Now, what is a trance medium?
It's a channeler today.
What is known today as a channeler?
Channeler, yeah. Okay. Shirley MacLaine's experience of getting involved with spiritism and with the supposed inhabitants of far distant planets in the galaxies, I taped the whole thing 3 hours.
And you were hearing the fulfillment of what this high priest had said 45 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So he went on explaining about the fact that the spirits will show themselves willing to give valuable guidance that will not only help people avoid the destruction of the planet, but it would cause it to enter into a higher state of existence. For instance, he said the spirits will promise, and this is a big word, promise, that if their recommendations are followed carefully, they will usher in a glorious new age of peace and prosperity, and there'll be there'll be no more wars, see, there'll be no more famines, there'll be no more people getting unhappy with one another, neighbors will love neighbor, and social unrest will not take place no more. It'll be
I'm just trying to pull your coattail right quick, man, and help you open your eyes and realize the truth between the real lies. You know what I'm saying? The truth from the real lies. That's it.
It started out with what we call the microwave oven experiments, where they just took a human being, stuck him in a building, focused the big antenna on him, pumped out 100 million watts of power in, hooked the people in that radar beam. They got it to the point where they could actually type in a command to the computer, and the computer would pulse a transmitter, and the person would do it to some extent. Then,
so there were triggering mechanisms in the brain.
Don't know if it's the brain direct or the psyche. See, here we're getting to the question: is your intelligence in the brain, or is it some quantum function that's outside the brain. I personally believe the brain is a computer interface and that your intelligence is outside the brain. There are documentation of a number of people existing without a brain. We had developed the microwave oven experiment to the point where they got it. They could type in the command, they could get the person to act like a chicken or whatever it is. Of course, Duncan here was one of those research people that they hit with this. Why someone didn't realize that this would burn out the person's brain, I don't know.
Clock.
And it was finally realized, well, if we turn the antenna around, the non-physical energetic component go through the antenna, and the burning rays would be reflected off into the atmosphere. They had a system which they were able to enter the mind of a human being by typing in computer commands. Now, at the same time, this group had heard of some of the alien interchange, the alien research. They heard that the aliens had a chair deal, that you could sit a human being in and it would read out everything that's in his mind. Of course, they were very interested to interface that into the computer. Hey, we had a computer that could take thoughts and make them real, manifest them. So what they wanted to be able to do was sit Duncan in a chair, have him concentrate on Tom Tulene here, create in his mind a virtual reality where Tom Tulene is acting like a chicken. This would go through the computers, go out the transmitter, it would spread out, would find Tom like a radionics, who would converge on Tom. Tom would be compelled to act like a chicken. They made essentially a mind amplifier.
There would be enough horsepower to overtake a person's normal defense system. Is it your mind interfacing with my mind? Yes, or is it some collective mind? It would be an artificial presentation of instructions to do work which would integrate with my mind, with my normal electrical functions in my brain. Your brain, your auric field, your spirit, energetic / electromagnetic, which in this reality form are highly structured and based into. Sure.
Develop a mind amplifier where a person such as Duncan, who's been trained in a virtual reality project, something very similar to the Lawnmower Man movie, he would be sat in that chair. The radio equipment, the computer equipment, the transmitter equipment would pick up that virtual reality by a group of coils and different kinds of sensors. We'll go to a massive computer bank. The computer will align it, stabilize it, all that good stuff, control it, store it. The computer would then feed it to the actual radar transmitter, which would transmit out electromagnetic equivalent of what we call thought form in the metaphysics field, and transmit this thought form out at lots and lots of CW power. What they noticed is this thing had enough power they could actually materialize things. Knows that Duncan could form something in his mind. This thing had the power to actually bring it into physical reality and materialize.
Through the system at the end of the process, it would occur.
My favorite was a can of Budweiser beer on the base commander's desk. The base commander liked Bud. So they showed Duncan a picture of the base commander's desk in his office, and he would visualize in his virtual reality a can of Budweiser beer sitting on that desk. Sure enough, it would appear on that desk. And the guy could drink it, it didn't poison him or anything. He said it was very good. It was better than typical Bud was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Something very peculiar was happening. He might concentrate at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The can of beer might appear 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, anywhere in that stretch. It would be out of real time. So it was realized, hey, this thing will bend time. Of course, they got all excited over that. And they sent the whole group of us technical scientific people out to study time. They told us, learn everything you can about time, how to control it, what it is.
If that ain't following the angel technology, then I don't know what is. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below.
Baby, I'm a gangster too, and it takes two to tango.
Y'all pause and read that.
Mess with me. Baby, I'm a gangster too.
Are you down? Oh, light. Hold up, y'all. Technical difficulty. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all think Mel Gibson with the program, or y'all think he against that? Let me know in the comment section.
You know, when you drink, you see things. I literally, this is...
That's if you drink a lot.
That's if you drink
a lot, Dave. You see things.
Yeah, okay, fine. I drink a lot. And I think I met the devil, which sounds crazy.
You saw the devil?
At a strip club.
Right.
It was weird because he sat at our table. He didn't say I'm the devil.
Right.
But you know how somebody sits near you and is like, I don't like this person's energy.
Right.
And I guess I had a little tipsy, so it just kind of came out. I was like, oh, man. I said, you are the devil.
Right.
And I think he heard me, so he's like, yes, I am the devil.
Wow.
He had the scratchy voice.
Right.
And in case you were wondering, he was white, no offense. I'm just saying what I saw.
Okay, he's just describing the man. The devil, it turns out, is white.
Well, I was thrown off. I was like, well, I thought you'd be like bright red with horns or something like this. And he says, I come in different forms. So, you know, I'm asking, like, so you come as a black guy sometimes too? And he was like, no, that would be too dangerous. I don't have ID.
Me personally, I believe Dave Chappelle. I believe everything he just said.
This goes with my last video. The world governments cover for these creatures. The American government especially covers for these creatures. Now, let this sink in right here. The American government covers for these creatures. These evil creatures who operate multiple identities at the same time. The American government and other world governments cover for. That means these creatures can take humans to court, ruin our lives, literally lay a snare for us. You know, one beast offers the heroin, the other beast is there to prosecute, you know, stuff like that. A coordinated effort by evil. Oh yeah, and then the other beast in the financial realm or whatever, well, they bring hardships on that human so that person feels like they have to lapse into drugs and alcohol. You know why? Because these creatures want humans to self-unalive. These creatures take multiple forms and they do it to ruin us humans. They do it to keep us in poverty, keep us oppressed, and to persecute and choke us out. It's a very reptile-like tactic. And it's like a wolf pack. They attack us, persecute us from multiple angles simultaneously. Oh yeah. Oh, this is Real Talk 30 right now. This is the kind of real talk that you can't really hear in a pulpit these days because some of those clever, cunning, and crafty creatures and their seed have risen to power in the church. But nonetheless, real talk, nonetheless. Yeah. And the freaking American government covers for these evil creatures, knows of their existence as they ruin human lives. And I'm telling y'all, the God of the Bible, his indignation, well, let's just put it this way. The apocalypse. And that's God being merciful for a short time period before he seizes the temporary ruler of this world and those under him.
Don't fall for the boo-boo, man. Remember that y'all have to open your eyes and realize what's really going on in front of us, man. You got to see through the smoke screens. There's a lot of BS going on right now, and it's not just a coincidence, man. Y'all see the things what they talking about with the Venezuelans. You got the war and all that stuff going on. It's a bunch of stuff out here to have you fear mongering and scared and distracting you from what's really going on, y'all. These times are biblical. Right now, all this stuff is going on. It's not a coincidence. It's something bigger going on. Y'all have to be paying attention and getting ready for the bigger picture, the bigger objective. It's a lot. I know it's a lot to take in, y'all. One more thing, y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because YouTube has been unsubscribing a lot of people lately, and a lot of people have been telling me in the comments that they have to resubscribe, and that they're not getting the notifications and all kind of silly stuff, man. It's crazy right now, man. They trying to censor the channel, man. Like I told y'all, man, they got this channel shadow banned. They trying to censor me because they don't want y'all to see the message and hear the message, man. Because I'm out here, I'm trying to wake y'all up and put you on game, man, so you don't fall, prey to the predators out here. And when I say that, I mean, you heard what he was talking about. These demons, the demonic spirits, and these fallen angels, man. It's a lot of stuff going on right now. Y'all have to pay attention, man. Keep your family safe. Share these videos with your family and friends so you can put them on game too. I promise you later on, they will appreciate you. They will come back and tell you, man, I appreciate that, man, because you opened my eyes. We was blind to what's really going on. Man, hey, that's all I could do. I'm trying to do my part. Y'all do y'all part and like the videos, subscribe, and share these videos, man. Y'all help me get this video to 5,000 likes at least. Please, y'all help me do that, man. We all in this together. We got to come together, man, and we got to save each other's lives, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's get it.
It's not only about you, sis. It's about your children. It's about your property. It's about your heart. The man, I saw the witch put the man down on the ground by calling that spirit that you cussing out your mouth for every day that came and took the brother out. I watched it. And that's what it's doing to you. You gotta stop the cussing. Now watch this. Show you something here. Watch it. See this girl right here? See that? Watch this. You gonna get something out of this. Sure enough. This thing said, every time she says my name, F. That's his name. F. I come to destroy her. My people destroy for lack of knowledge. I know, I was a sorcerer. I know what I'm talking about. This is real. You can't be cussing saying F you and well, F you. You can't do that because every time you do that, you're conjuring up something comes out of the pit. Look at it in your Bible. Go to Proverbs 5:5. I ain't got time to do it in this segment. 5:5 talks about there's a staircase in hell. And every time you curse, spirits come up them steps and they take over your life. And you wonder why things are so difficult because you're snaring yourself. God said it. Ain't no earthquake ain't said it. God said you're snaring yourself. This is what's catching you. That's what I saw when I was a little boy. This poor lady right here, she says, every time I get mad and say F, you get on my so-and-so, and she says F, you know the rest are. I ain't gonna say it, don't you say it. Something grabs me. She can feel it grab. Look at that. I'm talking to you. Way down in South Africa, stop that cussing. Way over in Ireland, the brother that called me from Ireland said, I can do what I want to do, earthquake. I'm a grown man. Brother from Ireland, man, I love you, man. I would never try to tell you something to harm you. No, but this is going to harm you. The brother, African-American brother that called me and said, man, I do what I want to do. You can't tell me not to cuss. Bruh, you misunderstand. I ain't trying to tell you what to do. I'm trying to inform you. Life can get much better if you don't, and it can get worse if you continue to do. That's all earthquake is doing, man. I ain't trying to take nothing from you. I ain't trying to take nothing from you. I'm trying to show you wisdom and understanding for your family. Your wife won't be so much scared of you. Your children won't be scared of you. Over in Australia, I'm telling you, all that's watching, your family won't be scared of you. You just a cussing machine that's putting stuff in your house. Stuff, look at this yourself. Proverbs 5:5, see if I'm lying to you. There's stairs in the pits of hell, and every time you cuss, these things come up. Look at sister here. Look at it. Every time I get mad and say F, something grabs me It grabs me, like it grabbed me. Let me tell you something. That thing that night when that thing first showed up to me, I was laying on the ground trying to cover it with the cover. It pulled the cover away from me. Pull the cover up. Come on, man. Pull the coverage away from me. And I was laying down there, and this thing stepped its foot. Stepped his razor blade feeling foot on my arm, and my arm burst open with blood. Sure did. Said, you'll never get away from me, which is a lie, because I'm free. Only through Jesus Christ. The next morning I woke up, I was in so much pain. My mother, she didn't see no cuts on me before I went to bed. She said, what's wrong with you, son? What's wrong with that monster thing? I didn't tell her that I cursed him in. I didn't tell her about that. I said, some monster stepped on my arm. She said, stepped on your arm? What monster? I said, Mommy, he came out of the closet and he stepped on my arm. And my arm.
Each one teach one, man. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Y'all get it, man? That's what I'm here trying to do for you. Now, and what more can I say, man? Question everything. I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm just here to teach you how to think. That's it. Y'all, it's been a good one. That's the video. If you liked and enjoyed it, y'all know what to do. Hit that like button on your way out if you ain't hit it yet, because I know you, if you're still here now to the end, you really enjoyed this video. It's your boy Koozie. I'm out. Holla at y'all, man. Hope everybody out here have a great weekend. Y'all be safe.